Well, he also I know we won't belabor the creative part of it, but too long. But he also unlocked the biggest thing in the. Remember, he sent us a 10-minute voice memo.
It was more like 17 minutes.
Which is a terrifying thing to get from anyone. You're like, 17 minutes.
In the glittering yet often unforgiving realm of Hollywood, where careers are built on the whims of public perception, the allure of fame, and the promise of box office success, the Deadpool franchise, with its unique blend of irreverent humor, meta-commentary, and the undeniable star power of Ryan Reynolds, had become a true phenomenon. The franchise was a major force. However, in a turn of events that sent shockwaves through the industry, a controversy began to unfold, one that centered on the actions and choices of Blake Lively, a respected and highly visible actress, and her relationship with Reynolds, a relationship that had always been seen as a symbol of Hollywood's enduring magic. What could possibly have transpired behind the scenes to prompt Marvel Studios, a true titan of the entertainment world, to take the unprecedented, and for a star of Reynolds' caliber, seemingly unthinkable step of filing a lawsuit against him? This is a story of power, reputation, and the often destructive forces at play in the entertainment industry. The question on everyone's mind is this: why now? Prepare to be drawn into a narrative that explores the intricate dynamics of celebrity, the often volatile nature of public opinion, the immense pressure that can be placed on high-profile individuals, and the potential for irreversible consequences when personal and professional lives become inextricably intertwined. Before we get started, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel and hit that like button. Your support helps us create more content like this. We also value your thoughts. So if you have any comments on this video, drop them down in the comment section below.
I always thought I'd end up in law enforcement, like my family. So I didn't imagine that acting was a way to get out of the house. It wasn't really like a passion when I was a kid. It was something that I was already doing at home, to survive. So right. You kind of, I noticed when I was a kid, making people laugh was a great self-defense mechanism. It really helped me kind of navigate my way through my own home with my older brothers and my dad, and I could diffuse them by making them laugh.
The initial signs of trouble, the first whispers of discontent that would ultimately lead to this dramatic confrontation, did not originate on the meticulously controlled environment of a Marvel film set, a place renowned for its tightly orchestrated productions, carefully constructed narratives, and a commitment to safeguarding its intellectual property. Instead, the genesis of this brewing storm, the first hints of discord, began to emerge around a separate film project, a standalone production that Blake Lively had, at one point, committed to with apparent enthusiasm. It was a project that, for her, was meant to be a major addition. The director of this particular film, an individual celebrated for crafting emotionally resonant stories that often captivated audiences, had been granted significant creative control. This control included serving not only as a co-writer and a producer, but also, in a very important step, taking on a prominent role in the film's cast. This multifaceted involvement afforded the director a considerable degree of influence over almost every facet of the production, including, and perhaps most crucially, the film's intended overall creative direction, a critical factor that would eventually become a major source of conflict and contention. The opportunity was seen as a chance for Lively to expand her portfolio. Early reports and rumors, which began to circulate within the industry, hinted at growing tension and disagreement between Blake Lively and the director. These disputes, according to sources close to the project, centered on several key areas. These included proposed revisions to the script, the film's marketing strategy and promotional plans, and at the most fundamental level, the movie's overall artistic vision. Sources close to the production describe Lively's mounting dissatisfaction, expressing a clear sense that the film was evolving in a direction that did not fully align with her own artistic vision. This was a huge issue. These disagreements, as the story unfolded, would come to represent not merely creative differences, but rather a fundamental clash of artistic principles. These issues were seen by many as creating irreconcilable differences.
Yeah. My relationship with my father, which was very complicated and difficult. My dad was a very, I come from a middle class, kind of blue collar home, and my dad was just of that generation where it's just He was Clint Eastwood. Less is more. Simple grunts is how he communicated.
Okay, gotcha.
I think people tell themselves stories, and this sort of comes back to your worldview that you just mentioned about.
Then, the situation took a dramatic turn. There was a turning point when leaked text messages emerged. These communications, purportedly from Blake Lively, would come to represent a pivotal juncture in the unfolding narrative, providing a new piece of evidence and for many serving as the key. The messages contain strong implications. They seem to assign blame and to describe a series of actions that, according to those familiar with the text messages, were potentially damaging to the individuals involved. Some of the text messages, as alleged by sources with knowledge of their contents, contained the distinct impression that the director had been actively involved in attempting to manipulate media outlets with the express purpose of presenting Lively's actions, her decisions, and even her character in a consistently negative light. This was seen by many as a betrayal. The alleged campaign to damage Lively's reputation quickly became a source of intense public and industry scrutiny. As the situation continued to unfold and the narrative began to take shape, the unfolding events and their implications were, almost immediately, the subject of comparisons to the high-profile Amber Heard case, a legal and public relations disaster. The events reminded many of the struggles of Amber Heard, as the Heard case, with its highly publicized and often turbulent legal battles, had, as the world would soon recall, resulted in a rapid and dramatic decline in public support for Heard. The comparisons, and the parallels that many were drawing, created a sense of unease. The potential for damage was a key concern for Lively. In the world of Hollywood, this kind of negative publicity could be catastrophic. The story continued to develop, and the focus of the narrative began to shift to Ryan Reynolds and the potential impact of the unfolding situation on his career, and most especially on his role as Deadpool. The industry, and more specifically, the power brokers who had long held sway over the fortunes of Hollywood's biggest stars, recognized that the perceptions of the public are everything. As a result, the expectations, the level of anticipation surrounding Reynolds' performance as Deadpool, a character he had helped create, and which had become a true icon of the superhero genre, meant that every action would be highly scrutinized, and that every step in the journey of the unfolding controversy would be watched very carefully. The consequences were sure to be felt by a wide number of people.
Well, that is also accurate and weirdly high praise as well. It was just one of those. It felt like a live-action Pixar movie. It was something that, I wanted to do something where nobody was being stabbed in the face.
Yes.
There was almost no blood at all. I think I got a little paper cut on the movie. That was about it. And something that my kids can watch, but also, as a parent, too, you want the parents need to get punched right in the heart as well.
There were growing concerns about the fallout from the situation. Marvel, which had carefully cultivated its image, was worried about how it would be perceived. Rumors began circulating suggesting that the executives at Marvel were getting increasingly worried that this controversy could damage the reputation of the Deadpool brand and its potential for continued success. The executives were now focused on a key question: how could they protect the valuable asset that was the Deadpool brand? As tension began to escalate, the first and very public sign of trouble appeared. The sign appeared when Ryan Reynolds significantly reduced his involvement in promoting the film, and more specifically, the production in question. This one action, more than anything else, had the effect of focusing attention on the situation and in creating a degree of great unease. The move was telling and created a shock. The rumors and reports continued, the drama continued, and finally the pivotal moment arrived. The pivotal moment arrived with the announcement that the studio was pursuing action. The studio decided to sue Reynolds. This step came with a message. It seemed like no action was off the table. The executives knew that they had to do something. The lawsuit, of course, was a signal that things were, at the very least, not well, but that they had gone seriously wrong.
About a month ago, this really hit home with me too. About a month ago, I was sitting in traffic and I was just jamming These Dreams by heart. I was killing it in the car. And there was just this busload of high school kids that were parked right beside me. I didn't even realize. I looked over and every one of their jaws were just on the ground, laughing their friggin' guts out at me.
What happens next, of course, has become the subject of wide speculation and a major focus for everyone involved. For the fans, this was devastating, and the fallout was felt by everyone. And now, that brings us to the end. Thanks for watching. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe and let us know your thoughts.